Welcome back to One Non Blonde. I'm your host Kim, and I've got Andre Cohen again. How are you doing today, Andre? Our
I'm
our
doing,
weekly, actually, two dates in 1 week.
yeah. And
Wow.
believe it or not, I'm doing marvelous. Not because it's Friday. No, it's just, when we lean back and we become aware that the saying every day is a blessing, we're alive, and we become aware that it is really true. That many people, when they went to bed last night, had a plan and didn't wake up. We're blessed.
Yes.
Even those people, they're not believers. It should make sense to them that it's a blessing when they wake up, because too many things happens nowadays. And if we are not in denial that we have some blessings we take for granted, our life improves, and it also influences our mind. I found out, always people say, Andre, your life must be great and it must go smooth. Well, I have to disappoint you. I'm human too. Life happens to me too.
Really?
And I just handle things in a manner I preach it. I think you have to live when you do what I do. You have to live what you preach. Otherwise, you're not authentic. And otherwise, you will not collect personal experience you can pass on to your clients as well. So don't be in denial that life happens. I mean, sometimes it happens because we are in denial, and sometimes it happens because of other people are in denial. One thing is, I have to get a little bit into our time right now. And the mask mandate is nationwide up again. And I've been thinking about all those things back and forth, vaccinated, not vaccinated. I don't want to get involved in that. But I want to see, there's always some people in denial. If they're right or wrong, I cannot determine. The only thing which is wrong is to define us by these technicalities. Um, a friend of mine texts me, says, the country is divided in red and blue right now. True statement, and also not. If we would add one color to this red and blue, we wouldn't be divided. If we would make it red, white, and blue, we would not be divided. That's what I told him. I say, if red and blue would integrate the white and we become all red, white, and blue, we don't need to be divided. There's always different opinion. Come on, how boring would it be if people don't have different opinion, and if we wouldn't learn either? So we are in denial right now, really in denial of becoming one country again. We find the excuse for our personal frustrations in politics.
Mm-hmm.
We always had politics,
Always.
but we used to be one country.
Mm-hmm.
We were not in denial that really, when it comes down to it, we're the people, we make it. We make it. Uh, if you're friend with your neighbor or not, has nothing to do with whoever is president. It has to do with you and your neighbor. And if we're not in denial that we're responsible for our life, that we're responsible for our own happiness, and that we're responsible for our mindset, if we're in denial of that, we will never reach a level of contentment. If you're aware, and I got up this morning and I said, well, it's going to be a great day. And I said it to me very, very, very obviously every day. I say, well, it's going to be a great day. I opened my computer. There was something on it that was not so great. I say, How awesome is that? That I get this crap out of in the morning and the day is open. This thing, which was not so nice, I got out of it in the morning and the day can go on.
Mm-hmm.
It's up again, what I always say. No matter how thin you slice it, it depends on which side you look on. And I always try to look at the brighter and say, okay, there is some mess right now on the computer. I fix it and the day is open. Is it sugarcoating? No.
You have to fix it. It's not going to
Yeah.
go away if you don't fix it. If you don't
So
address it.
I always say it has very simply to do with the house you live in. If the carpet is dirty, you can complain about it, or you can grab the vacuum and vacuum it.
Mm-hmm.
You get this, what disturbs you, out of your way, and you say, well, that wasn't too bad, 10-minute vacuum, it looks completely different. And this vacuum cleaner has to do with also with my computer, with everything we do. It was funny, about a week ago, my neighbor, in the garage, his car wouldn't start. So he says, can you give me a jump? I say, yeah. So, yeah, it still didn't go. So we called AAA and they said, well, your battery is so sour, it will not even jump start. And he smiled at me. He says, you know what? I've been thinking for a long time I need a new battery. So he got the new battery, got off. No big deal.
Yeah.
Not in denial that certain things need to be done to move smoothly, not being in denial. And that also has to do with self-awareness. Remember we talked about it?
Yes, we did.
And self-awareness has to do, come on, people out there, stop beating up on yourself. I should have, could have. It doesn't matter. What I did last week was the best I could. This week I learned and can do better because I know better. And that is part of progress and not being in denial. That we are learn until we drop. That I'm gonna put it like that.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine who is a Tibetan monk, he told me once, and I give it a lot of thinking. He says, if mankind stops learning and growing, he stops living.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what do you mean? He says, our mind and our body need to progress because we decrease. Wow, what is that? He says, well, our body is wear and tear, but our mind doesn't have to be. Our mind can function now with all the information our mind has, even better than it did when we were younger. And he says, and that makes sense because our mind has to compensate what our body cannot do anymore. And it made completely sense. Being in denial, visually and mentally, that aging is a normal process. That automatically brings you subconscious in defense of it, in denial of it. Okay. And I'm going to say that. I don't want to offend everybody. I want to be politically as correct as possible. If you do some plastic adjustments on your body, more power to you. Okay. That might be a good thing to help you emotionally to find some confidence. If you as a man think you need a hairpiece because you're bald headed, more power to you. If you think it helps you emotionally, more power to you. In both cases, is it really needed? You have to decide it. But
Yeah.
I don't think so. How will you become attractive is your aura. And your aura increases if you don't have a conflict. If you balanced inside and not in denial of everything. I saw a picture beginning of the week. I don't know, and the young people might not remember her, but Ali McGraw,
Hmm.
the actress from Love Story. And I recommend everybody open that picture. It says her latest picture to her 84th birthday. Her white hair, nothing done here, sitting there. I mean, really beautiful. Really beautiful. And they showed, I don't want to name that, from a lady, she is 14 years younger than she. She had done some work, overdone, looked ugly. So give nature the chance to keep you beautiful. If you need a little adjustment, okay. But give yourself permission. Don't be in denial. Hey, I enhance on years every year I'm on the earth. And it is only statistic. Age is only statistic. Here I came to earth. I'm still on earth so many years. It doesn't define your energy. It doesn't define your energy. I mean, we know I'm not a young man anymore. I'm over 21. I'm 22.
I thought so. Thought you were closer to 25, but that's
Right. But I religiously trick myself to keep my body in shape without going to the gym.
hmm
When I go to a grocery store, no matter how much parking is free, I park on the farthest point. I trick myself to it. And believe it or not, over the year, it helps. Oh my God, it really helps. I love to eat, of course. I'm Italian.
you're Italian.
Yeah, I love to eat. Well, I can tell you one secret, I'm not overweight. This little tricking myself. I'm not in denial that I need to exercise because I sit a lot on my desk like now and talk to people. So I use breaks to exercise without exercising, walking, uh, going up and down the stairs, you know, not using the elevator. Little things like that. And keeps me in shape and keeps everybody who does it in shape too. And you don't have to go to the gym and work out and ruin your body and your joints. Don't be in denial that some things have to be done. And even if it's adjustment of the diet, what I did too. I eat healthier than ever and feel better than ever because I know certain things need more and certain things need less. My joints need more food to support my joints so I can move. So I went to that. I know that a lot of people don't think so, but God bless all the vegans. But our body needs animal protein. It is different than protein from vegetables. Broccoli has a lot of protein, but it's still different than you eat a piece of chicken, different protein. And that helps us with aging too. If we feed what our body needs. And with the information flood we have right now, we don't need to see a doctor. Just Google, oh, my shoulders hurt, my joints. Google, what can that be? How can I support that? And it gives you a list of food and not different opinion. You can go to a nutrition, you can go to a natural doctor, you can do regular doctor, you can go to food places. And if everything says the same, it can't be wrong. Don't be in denial that you need different things. And that people getting slowly. But where it all starts, that's what they don't get. It starts all here, between our ears, saying, hey, I'm doing good. And a lot of people really do good, even in their times, believe it or not. And they're emotional, pretty okay. But there is something for years, I don't know what it is, getting rid of that. oh, I lived with it for so long and I live okay. Hey, remember cognitive, little pocket explodes.
Mm-hmm.
Being, being in denial, people always, our vocabulary is so defined. If you listen, we cannot mislead. When I say to people, emotional health is important, emotional health, I don't say mental health, it's important too.
Yes, it's
But
emotional.
emotional health is the first step to mental health. So if you keep emotional healthy and don't deny that you need that, there is overwhelming times. We have things to deal with every day. We have to. Nobody has 24/7, 365 days only positive coming from the outside. There are things. I just, before we started talking, was talking to somebody in your area. There's an accident. Everything is blocked up. They sit in a car with their AC now for a half an hour, cannot pass. Things happen. Have to go to a meeting. Uh, well, happen. The important part is that those people should right now look at the bright side. You laugh about it. When you stand because of an accident, it means you're not in the accident.
That's exactly right. So you're late, but you're not the person who's in the ambulance or worse.
Yeah, yeah. So, and 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 I think that it's so important for emotional health to create awareness and to train it. And we have the Olympics right now.
Hmm.
So that is a very good example I try to give people, or football is coming up again. We have so many talents in sport. How do they become champions? By the right coach or mentor. They cannot do it by themselves. They have the talent. They have everything what it takes, the determination, but the fine tuning has always been done from the view from the outside. Because if you sit on a horse and do horse jump, if you're a swimmer, you know how to swim, you know how to swim fast, to do everything. But they say, hey, your technique, you're not as tall as others. Your technique by when you go freestyle is different. When you're a gymnast, if you stretch differently when you get on your handstand, the outside makes a big talent
Hmm.
champion.
Yes, of course.
And that has to do with our mind as well. Misconception of people is Andre works with people, they're unstable.
No, it's the opposite.
So opposite. Well, Andre works with people that have a weak mind.
No.
Andre works with people they know they want and can improve, and they take this little challenge for life-changing moments. That's all it is. And as long as we're in denial of it and misinterpret mental health and emotional health. And I want to say something everybody can look up, and everybody maybe has experience in his family or even with himself. You think you're emotional healthy, but something is bothering you. You carried it for a while. You become sometimes a little bit sad, don't know where it comes from, a little bit tired, exhausted, demotivating, pre-depression. Do we have to go there? No, just don't deny that you can improve. And this improvement has nothing to do that you're weak. It has nothing to do that you're crazy. It has nothing to do that you're not a stand-up woman or a stand-up man. There's three things I want to mention what strong people do. First of all, they're never in denial of improvement. Second point, they have no problem to apologize. And third thing is strong people have never a denial to better themselves, to better their situation. That is true. Trust me. If you look at people, I mean, we beat down on people. Why do we beat down on people? Recent event, there's two billionaires go in space.
Mm-hmm.
So people are really upset. Well, with this money, they could have fed some hungry families. They could have done this and that. And I lean back and I say, okay, I look at both sides. I look at both sides. It is true this money could have been benefit. But on the other hand, they worked and earned their money. And if it's their money, it's up to them to do something for themselves. So you can look from both sides. I can understand those people that say it could have been used for something benefit. But what they forget in the moment of jealousy, in denial that they earned it, this moment of jealousy and finding an outlet to beat up on them, they're being in denial that they're jealous.
No, it'd be just like me saying to somebody, you don't deserve to go on vacation. You could have spent that money and gave it to the homeless. I mean, and you would say to me, I worked all year. I earned this vacation. I mean, it's the same concept, you know. It's just obviously
Yeah.
it's larger money, but the point is that nobody else would want somebody to tell them how they're supposed to spend their money.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Kim, denial is really an overlooked roadblock.
Mm-hmm.
Overlooked roadblock. I have a few social media forums, and sometimes when people write me messages, I don't push people. I just say, you know, this and that, in my opinion, I would change, adjust, or improve.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a hard time that I change and then coming back what I preach and preach. Don't change. Don't change who you are. Change your pattern, change your
Patterns.
thinking,
There's a
and
difference.
that's it.
Because
Big
the essence of who I am is going to always be me. But if I
Exactly.
see a pattern that causes me to keep hitting, like you said, that roadblock, and I keep stumbling, then I have to adjust that pattern. It's like falling in the hole, and then I keep falling in the same hole because that's how I do it. And we talked about this prior to coming on for the show, that I immediately, when I had a bad day yesterday, I started to go into, oh, look at me, I did this, oh, I did that, oh, and then I had to stop. I had Andre in my head, had to stop, and I had to like reevaluate, because it was emotion. It was not, I could tell you right now, it was an emotional breakdown I was having when I made an error. And I did make an error, but I didn't do it intentionally, and it got fixed. But my first response was to be, oh, I did this. Oh my gosh, I have to apologize to this person. No, I did apologize, because I did apologize for the fact that I made the error. But I was like beating myself up, like, oh my gosh, I have to. And I stopped. I'm like, no, it's an error. I addressed it. Like you just this morning, like you said, I addressed it. I fixed it, and I had to move on, because I could have easily made my rest of my day all about, oh, and I messed up this, and oh, I'm not good at that, and I've always tried to be good at this, and now I'm not. See, I'm a loser. I'm a this. And you could just
No,
get
no, no, no.
yourself caught up into that pattern. And so I think that's what people need to realize is, like you said, it's not changing your essence, because my essence is I care about my job. I care about what I do. That's going to always be there. But how I beat myself up and how I
How you
projected
react
other
to it.
people and reacted to it, I had to change that pattern because that's
Yeah.
the pattern, not my responsibility.
Well, I became over 42 years now working with people quite snotty, I'll
Hmm.
be honest. And do I make mistakes? Hey, every day.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect. And I like it. And yeah, no, I like it because I learned from it. I learned
Hmm.
from it. And it also brings me more alertness again. Hey, you don't want to make that again.
Yeah.
But some people
Exactly.
says, do you know you forgot to send me the email last night? I say, yes, I do and apologize. I apologize twice. What do you mean? I say, I apologize for not sending you the email. And the second apology is that I'm human. I make mistakes.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. End of the discussion. End of the discussion. Okay. And I'm lately, thanks God to modern technology, people keep going and going and say, you know what? We're going to end this conversation right now. Talk to Siri, you know, because listen, we had misunderstandings in timing in the
Hmm.
beginning. What's the big deal? We corrected it. We had misunderstanding about a topic we wanted to do. I talked about something different. You wanted to talk next time about what we agreed on. I forgot. I forgot what topic. Things in the week came up. I said, that's an important topic we talk about. We fixed it. We talked about later. It is not so much about making the mistake. It is about not in denial. I made a mistake. We fix it. It is fixable. It is. We had yesterday, our internet was going nuts.
Hmm.
So we said, okay, we try tomorrow. And here we are, you know, and not being in denial that things can happen will make our life easier.
Yeah. We
Not
had a
being in
plan
denial.
B.
And when I talk, yeah. And when I talk to people, sometimes I say, you know, this and that, I would improve. Yeah, yeah. But I think I get a hold of it. Well, how long do you try to get a hold of it? Well, for some while, but it will work. And I say to myself, holy hell, do I have to take your hand and dial my number when you have a bad situation? Do I have to show you how to dial a phone number and ask me?
Yeah.
Your damn ego and pride are in denial that you have a moment you could use some advice and some help. What is wrong with that?
I
You
think
know,
sometimes people think that asking or looking for help makes them weak, but actually it's the opposite. Like you said, like you talked about athletes. An
not being
athlete's
in
not going to go out there
denial.
and go,
Yeah,
I'm out here by myself. No, they can't be by themselves.
yeah,
And the same with, and I think most successful people, if you look at them, they all have life coaches, mentors, they have
yes, they
an
do.
entourage of people who are there to help them through all of that. Because
Stay on what they are,
mhm,
and we have to remember, no matter how we feel, no matter how the times are out there, we are human.
mhm,
We have feelings, and that is good because it makes us humans. But don't let pattern or opinion of a group of society declaring you weak or stupid or whatever they do, don't let them influence your own progress. You think I don't ask for help? Of course. I made you aware I have a colleague of mine who does the same than I do. He lives on the East Coast. We know each other for 40 years.
mhm.
We are our feedback. We are our feedback. If I had a week, I called David and said, David, I had that week and I can compensate it, but it bothers me that it was one thing coming after the other, or when he has something.
Yeah, of course.
And it is so important the outside source, and we do it for 40 years religiously. And even if we don't have to improve anything, we just check on each other that we are still on track.
Of course. I mean, I know like I work in a church. That's my main job. And we all are asked to get spiritual directors, for that reason, because, we are constantly and, we're always having to help people with their faith, which is it's same like you. It's people's, it's their inner, it's their, and sometimes it's hard for them to get through or try to express it, or they're angry, or they're, because they're trying to figure all this stuff out. They're angry at God, or they're confused with God, or they're, so we have the same situation in that sense that, that spiritual warfare. And also for me to recharge, because first of all, I don't have all the answers, obviously, but also, so I don't have, like I said, because there's days where, I've gotten to the point now where I've gotten over it, but I would come home when I first started doing this, that I would just be drained for like days, because it was like all these people's emotions and their it would just sit on me, and I couldn't breathe. I really couldn't breathe. And then I would take it out, and I would be like you said, I would be sad. I'm like, why am I sad? Oh, I'm sad because this person's sad and that hurt, so it's hard, but
You take the obvious thing instead going back that the Satanists came from you,
yeah,
because compassion is something different than sadness.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. I have compassion. I mean, a lot of during COVID of my clients and friends got
Hmm.
sick or the parents died or whatever. I have compassion, but I'm not sad
That's what I've
because
learned to
it's
do too. Yeah, I've had to. Yeah, because I would take all that emotion and be like, I would
yeah.
swallow
And
it up.
if you sit in sadness, there's something in you sad, and you take that moment of compassion to become sad because there's something in the background, something in
Hmm.
this cognitive bubble. And that's, is not needed if people really do that. And I always say, people say, what is the first thing you do with me? I say, I want to know your energy. I want to see how you feel, not how you're feeling, how you
How do you
feel.
feel?
If you are able to feel really what you feel, or not just what you think you feel, that is such a big difference. It's such a big difference. How I feel about you when we talk is great because we exchange found thoughts, we exchange words. When we off air, how I feel about you, no, it is very important. Then I cherish you as a person, not anymore as a talk partner. And that's where we have to go on ourselves. How do I really feel? Is it only professionally because we have a good chemistry professionally? Or is it also, I respect that person? That is very, very important. We have to look how we really feel and not to be in denial of, you know. And I think when we go more in the mode and how I started out today, with all the things coming up again, wearing masks and fake news, who cares about that? Make sure you are all right.
Exactly.
And when you are all right, your husband will be all right. When you and your husband will be all right, your kid's gonna be all right. If they are all right, your grandkids gonna. It has the ripple effect. The ripple effect. And communities are man-made. So if that happened, we can make our community work.
Hmm.
We don't, because we're in denial of it. That's why it doesn't work. We look and escape for frustrations. We're in denial that we are frustrated. We blame that we are frustrated with whatever it is, with the gas station, with everything.
Yeah.
No, just go to yourself and just, I want to feel all right. And it is not even selfish. It is not selfish. To feel all right is not selfish. So,
No, it's the opposite.
you know, and because you can give something of this all right to the other person.
Well, I know we talked about this once before, and I just kind of like want to reiterate it, is the fact that if you're not allowing yourself to be all right and to feel good, how are you supposed to give anything to anybody which is honest? Which is, how can you be in a relationship when you're not in an honest position for yourself and not allowing yourself to be in a good place? Because if you don't have that in you, how are you supposed to give it to somebody else? And I know we've talked about that before, and that's truth.
Yeah.
And it always reminds me of, put your oxygen mask on first, then help somebody else. See, I listen. I'm a good student. I really do listen, because you do have a lot of great knowledge and a great wisdom.
And what you say right now, very important, very important. If you put your oxygen mask on, you can function to help not only one person, to help
a lot of
more
people.
than one person, because you are functional.
Hmm.
And when you feel good, it's the same effect.
I agree. I agree.
So with all of that, I want to speak the closing word for today. I wish that everybody feels better and better. I'm here. I'm approachable. You can go on my website, thesimplemalist.com. You can go leave me a message there. There's even a phone number there. You can reach me. And I will never deny an answer. If you have a question, you can go on my Facebook page, send me a private message there. You can go on LinkedIn, send me a private message there. So if you really want to get a hold of me, I'm available and reachable, and I will never deny anybody an answer.
I know that.
You're all
And
blessed out there.
stay safe. Thank you, Andrea. We will see you next week. And also, guys, remember to like and subscribe to One Non Blonde. Check out Andre's social media. He is amazing. He's got great insight, quotes, just questions sometimes, or just something to think about. It just makes you, it just opens your mind. So thank you so much for all you do, Andre, and you have a great weekend.
You too.
Thank you. God bless.